the last video, we had this really cool thumbnail that Tim made, which was the ChatGPT logo like falling out of the iPhone and Apple Intelligence and talking about that stuff. And I posted like the before and after of like the idea behind it and then the final result. And a lot of people were like, oh, I thought you made this with AI. And then they started trying to make it with AI themselves. And they were like, yeah, I could have made that with AI. Here's a version with AI. Here's a bunch of versions I just made with AI. And they weren't very good, but that is a real person that exists that's like, whatever, like I could just make it with AI.
So you guys might have seen over the weekend, there was a big thing that happened where everybody started making themselves Ghibli-fied. Because OpenAI released their image generation model that is built into ChatGPT that is much more realistic and way better. It's the 4.0 model. So it's the deep thinking model. And it just kind of caught fire that people started making themselves into a Studio Ghibli kind of character.
Yeah, you would like upload a photo and say, can you make this in like a Studio Ghibli animation style?
So Sam Altman tweeted, the ChatGPT launched 26 months ago was one of the craziest viral moments I'd ever seen, and we added 1 million users in 5 days. We added 1 million users in the last hour. That was over the weekend because of the amount of people who wanted to do this, because the 4.0 model at first was just released to OpenAI Plus subscribers, and then they released it to everyone later. So everyone just wanted to make Studio Ghibli versions of themselves. This is highly ironic because Studio Ghibli's creator notably hates AI-based animation and famously said that it was an insult to life itself.
If you haven't seen that video, I showed it to Marques, like explaining this to him the other day. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's funny.
From a few years ago, but basically someone had shown him, look, this was generated with AI. And he was like, this is the most disturbing thing I've ever seen.
It was from a documentary. I think it came out in 2016, something like that. But I will say, in their defense, although I do agree with Miyazaki, but the clip that they showed him that AI made was really grotesque. It was for a horror movie, and he was like, why would anyone want to do this? Like, I think he literally says, like, if you want to make creepy shit, go do it somewhere else. Like, I'm never putting this in my films. Something like that.
It's weird. I've seen both sides of this on my timeline. I know it's hard to believe there's two sides, but side number one is using AI to create art, stealing from the studio art, like not asking permission, all of the negatives of it. And the other side was, honestly, it's pretty good. Actually, the way I saw it, was
counterpoint.
I posted the last video. We had this really cool thumbnail that Tim made, which was the ChatGPT logo like falling out of the iPhone and Apple Intelligence and talking about that stuff. And I posted like the before and after of like the idea behind it and then the final result. And a lot of people were like, oh, I thought you made this with AI. And then they started trying to make it with AI themselves. And they were like, yeah, I could have made that with AI. Here's a version with AI. Here's a bunch of versions I just made with AI. And they weren't very good, but that is a real person that exists that's like, whatever, like I could just make it with AI. Not everybody has access to a team, Marques. Like you got to just be able to make art for free and cheap. And at a certain point, it's going to be faster and better. So you might as well just get on board with AI anyway. I saw that crowd on Twitter too. So I'm not shocked that this blew up and people were all entertaining themselves by just making Studio Ghibli versions of whatever they could think of, memes, famous videos, famous movies, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an interesting narrative.
What I did enjoy was there was a lot of people who were like making art of themselves, and then people were like quote tweeting them and being like, "This you," and it was like their last tweet from 2 days ago, being like, "I can't believe this person stole my video clip and used it for this." Yeah, that was quite funny.
If you think Studio Ghibli movies are so moving because Miyazaki draws really good, you're you're missing the point. Like that's great that you can use a robot to poop out something that looks like it was drawn by him, but if you think that is the same as like making something as like touching as those films are, like go for it, but you're totally going to replace artists. You're going to do such a good job out there.
I did see someone make a point though saying, you know, yes, you can make these AI cartoons in like seconds now, but it took that studio decades of work to get to that point. So this isn't going to be the case like forever. Like you still need artists doing their thing.
I think that's a super fair point in a lot of things, is how long it takes to get somewhere. Because I think a lot of people, even in, you know, what we do, are like, how come Marques can make a 15-minute video and it can make all this money. It's like, because he's dedicated 17 years of his life to getting to this point with that audience. Like, there's always more to it than just the initial output in that time. But
yeah, and also originality is missing.
And
like when you train something on something existing, you can make derivative work, but you can't. You, I guess, by definition, can't make original work. It's always trained on something.
What would be cooler as a gift? A picture of you in Studio Ghibli form that was drawn by the creator or by AI. Like one of those is going to touch you a little more.
Yeah, I think that
one's impossible to get, but
well, that's like a very deep conversation in sort of the artificial intelligence community. It's like, aren't people also just combinatorics of things that they've experienced and learned?
True.
That's the whole argument.
That's the devil's advocate.
Are you trying to name the Pokemon on your thing right
This is
now?
all the ones I know. Yeah.
One of those you didn't know before.
Squirtle.
Blastoise.
Who's the grass one?
Moly.
Grass one?
The grass one.
The green one.
He's technically number 1 in the Pokedex.
Oh, green. Wait, I think it was.
Thanks for watching this clip. Before we tell you to like and subscribe, we are going to have Marques name every Pokemon he can off the dome. Are you ready, Marques?
Starting with Pokedex number 1.
Here we go.
I
Go.
don't know if he knows number 1.
Pikachu.
Nice.
25.
Snorlax.
Boom.
Charizard, Charmander.
Sweet.
Blastoise.
Uh-huh.
Squirtle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's 6.
Grass one.
You named him earlier.
Who's the legendary in the first?
He's kind of freaky and has a pink tail and
Winnie the
floats
Pooh?
around.
No. Wait, what?
And there's one of them, and then there's two of them.
kind of freaky.
That's it.
It's the sound a cat makes.
meow.
Close.
Wait,
Well,
Say it like Mike Tyson.
Meowzard.
Meowzard.
Meow. Meowmander.
Make sure to like and subscribe for more of this.
if you really want it.
Meowth.
Well, there's Meowth, but I was talking
it?
about. I was talking about.
That's the Mike Tyson one.
I was talking about Mew.
I was talking about Mew.
Oh.
Mewtwo?
and Mewtwo.
No, that's what you do when you want your
Mewtwo's
jaw
a
to
Pokemon.
look
Heard of
nicer.
Mewtwo.
Mewtwo's a
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur.
I guess we're still going. Thanks for watching.
Is this Naruto?
There's also Mew.
This is every Pokemon I've ever heard of.
There's also
like
Mew.
and subscribe, please.